This is Tammer Fakhry, broker owner of Elite Mortgage.
Hi guys, and this is Mickayla Fatovic, and I am the broker owner of Elite Class Property Management and Real Estate Company.
Hi guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications.
And today we're going to talk to you about creative rental opportunities for your properties. So most people think about rental properties, you usually think about either long-term annual leases, or other thing is that, which is really hot, obviously, Airbnbs. But obviously there's a lot of other options and other ways you could actually rent out your properties, have it be profitable, even in a market like this, where the market that we're starting to come out of, where prices were really high and investors are sitting on the sideline going, oh my God, I could buy this, but it makes no sense for me to buy this investment property. There have actually been ways during this kind of craziness to still be able to rent your property and do it in a profitable way. One of those things that is a great example of this is traveling nurses. So I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but nurses tend to sign up with these traveling services where they get assigned all around the country on contracts, short-term contracts. It could be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but they know it's a temporary gig. It's not going to be a long-term placement at a particular hospital. One of the ways that you could actually leverage this is what we like to call a hybrid, or a short-term, long-term hybrid, right? So you're offering this opportunity to someone to come and move in and rent the property from you on a longer term basis than, say, an Airbnb, but shorter term than, say, an annual lease, because again, their contract's not for an annual lease. That being said, you have to be prepared that you need to make sure that this is a turnkey, ready to move in. I'm bringing my clothes, I'm unpacking, and I live in a house, right? They're not going to furnish it. They don't want to buy kitchenware. They don't want to buy glassware. They don't want to think about those things, right? So you have to think about furnishing it the same as you would an Airbnb, right?
Yes. So you can also include utilities. So basically, it's going to be essentially the Airbnb model, but you're going to end up capping your utilities. So anything over your cap, they pay for. They're going to restock the property. So anything like paper towels, toilet paper, food, all that's going to be on the responsibilities of them. For example, I had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that was furnished. We were going to do it on Airbnb, decided not to. And we ended up doing these housing options to people who were moving to the area, waiting on a new home to be built, or waiting on XYZ. They had a work contract, and basically they lived there for 6 months, up to a year, or even a little bit shorter. 3 months was the minimum we had set. And we ended up renting that property for $2,425, where like the market rents would have only procured about $1,500.
I will say this, if you're going to go, whether it's, corporate, this works also for corporate rentals, right? So if you're in a market where there's a lot of businesses, bigger businesses that will have people coming in, they will rent from you. And they'll actually, some instances, I know there are parts of Virginia where there's a big high tech density companies, right? They actually will do multi-year leases with you. They're actually going to lock you in for 3, 4, 5 years. So you're getting paid whether someone's living there or not, right? Because they have executives coming in that they want to have stay at these places. But obviously, you got to be ready to have the right type of property and furnish at the right level for the market that you're going after, right?
For travel nurses, they get a granted allowance for their housing, and this is like the approved amount for like the year. I think I'm not a travel nurse, so I don't know exactly how it works, but there's a website that you can go to and you can see how much they get for their daily amount of rent allotment. And basically it's a really good way to be able to see what you could get and potentially even get a little bit more of. So I would really recommend to check that out. I'm actually going to link that down below so you can check it out for my state. But we also want to jump into doing like transitional homes, like recovery residences and residential neighborhoods.
Recovery residents are basically opportunities for people who are transitioning out of rehab of some sort, and they are looking to get back into society, and they really are opportunities to be almost like a communal living situation. There's no contract in terms of how long they could stay. If they become a problem for you, it's not like going through a regular eviction, right? It's you're in violation of our agreement to stay here and you need to go. And that's kind of as simple as it gets. But at the same time, they have the flexibility of, hey, I've gotten a job, I made some money, I want to move on, I'm ready to go out, I have a car, I'm ready to move on with my life and get to the next step. We want that kind of transition. So if someone's there they could be there for 3 weeks, they could be there for 3 months, they could be there for
years.
Forever.
This can also be transitioned also into like a not-for-profit too, which has its own benefits. So you're still able to reasonably pay out like the owners and a salary per se, and still get back, and then also take advantage of, for your residents, any grants that are coming or any additional donations that people have. So there's a lot of ways to go about it. But the best part about it is you're not just renting your home and being an investor, you're giving back to the community and making it possible for people who are coming from jail, from rehab, from really anywhere at all, even off the streets, to have that new beginning. So that's actually one of my personal favorites. I'm not going to lie. That's something that's very dear to my own heart. And I think that either going into these hybrid types of investments, you just really have to be prepared for each type of consequence that comes with them, the rewards, because everything is going to have the highs and the lows. And you can't go into these being like, I'm just going to get rich and be like, I'm Rick James or whatever they say.
I'm rich, beep. Yeah.
But you can't just go into it thinking like, I'm going to do a hybrid investment where there's like, the rent for $800 and I'm going to charge people $5,000. Like, that's not going to happen. I highly suggest getting like a partner or a mentor or a property manager that does this. Like, for example, our company has been doing hybrids for the last year, and we're going to continue doing it throughout the life of our company because we've seen a lot of success with them. It's rewarding for everyone. It gives people housing. And it's actually a really good way to provide housing that's very limited and low in inventory and high in demand.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because honestly, affordable housing for people who are getting restarted again, it's hard. It's hard to find. It's not available. And that's why I said it's a win-win, right? As long as you're providing a quality product, you're going to do well, and you're doing well for other people. So it's a good opportunity to be involved in. Another opportunity that people don't think about, and it's not a new phenomena, but I don't see a lot of people who invest in this, assisted living homes. Again, yes. To Mickayla's point, you can't go into a residential neighborhood and start a business, right? But assisted living homes are actually legal within residential areas. There is a lot of regulation and a lot of things around this. So as an owner of a property, your best bet, if you're not interested in getting in this business, because it is very highly regulated, as you're dealing with senior citizens and people who are elderly and need some sort of nursing care. But the opportunity from a landlord perspective is if you have the right home, i.e. ranch, that's very important. And you have enough space in these homes and are willing to do the work for make these all ADA compliant, inside the house. You could partner with an operator, someone who's already in the business, who's already doing those things. And again, you have the ability to charge above market rates for the rent. So if a home in a certain neighborhood, rents for $2,500, I've literally heard that it could be double that. So you could be renting for $5,000 a month, the same home, but you have to be ready to be prepared to either make the modifications or be okay with somebody who's this operator to come in and make those modifications on that home and have it be a residential assisted living home.
Another awesome attribute to this is you don't even really have to partnership with anybody if you don't want to. You could literally just have the house and be the landlord, right? So you could go and rent this house out to an actual operator or business, a formal entity, which then goes back to the corporate leasing and get above market rents.
But I think the point is that ultimately what we're trying to make is you can be creative. You could still do well, even in a overinflated market or an overly priced market. right? You can do well for yourself. And you could do well for the community, right? So you just got to think about it. And literally, I hate the expression, but I'm going to use it. Think outside the box a little bit,
Oh, wow.
right? Yeah.
You
You
went
got to
there.
think. Yeah, I went there. I went with the cheesy saying, but you got to be creative. You got to be unique. You got to think about things. And there's opportunities out there if you're willing to look at things from a different angle.
Just because the market is changing right now and it's going down basically everywhere doesn't mean that the world is ending. Okay.
No.
There are so many opportunities out there. And if you guys just think outside the box, like Tamara has put it. But guys, feel free to ask us any questions about this. So me and Tamara are also always interested in going and partnering up with really anyone and everyone that has a good opportunity or is interested in opportunities or giving opportunities. So feel free to comment below any questions, comments, or maybe you're even just thinking of doing it or you need a partner. We would be interested in hearing from everyone about everything. And we really appreciate you guys supporting us. Subscribe, please.
Guys, we'll see you next week.
Peace out.